In this video, we're going to be going over where the lumber prices are going to be heading in year 2022. We know in 2021 they went absolutely crazy, but what's to come? You're watching TMBRMAN TV. Obviously, these last couple years have been absolutely insane in the world, right? With COVID, the pandemic, and with inflation. And in the year 2021, we saw an absolute insane spike in lumber, which led me to buy plywood at $100 a sheet, which is absolutely insane. So let's dive into what happened, where lumber's at right now, and what we can expect moving forward as tradesmen in the business. So lumber is a traded commodity, just like anything in the stock market, and it's measured by 1,000 board feet in terms of the price that's paid. And before the pandemic, we had an average of $400 per 1,000 board feet. Now, pre-pandemic, it went down a little bit and then shot right up to over $1,600 per board foot. So per 1,000 board feet. So we went from $400 to over $1,600 at the highest point. And I remember this. Plywood being up to $100 a sheet of plywood, a 2x4. I saw it go up to $13, $14 for an 8-foot 2x4, which normally they had been in the high $2s or low $3 range for a 2x4. But this is an exponential growth in terms of the price at that time when the trading price was over $1,600 per 1,000 board feet. And I don't know about you guys, but when that price was that high for plywood and 2x4s and really anything at the lumber yard or at your local big box retailer, it really threw a wrench in my projects because my bids had to almost double. Didn't mean my labor was going up tremendously, but hey, the cost of material is more than doubling, really triple or quadrupling. That, yeah, I did lose some jobs, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did too, and you kind of start scratching your head like, this cannot keep up like this. How are we going to be able to sell and make money if our material is costing so much money and our estimates are now looking astronomical when really we're not making any more money? We're just trying to cover the material cost. Lumber right now is trading at $1,159 per 1,000 board foot, which to you and me doesn't mean a lot. What we want to know is how much are we paying for lumber at the store. So I'm pulling up just big box retailer, Home Depot, Lowe's, half-inch sheet of plywood, looking at about 36 bucks, which is a lot better than what it was at the height of the lumber spike last year. And a 2x4 is in the low threes. So again, from $13 back to $3, this is a huge relief, right? Because now our contracts can look a lot more normal with normal material prices, which should in turn help us out, help grow our business. But our lumber price is gonna stay where they're at, and the whole purpose of this video is I don't think they are. I think we're gonna see a spike again. I think we're gonna start seeing them go back up. But why? In order to understand where the lumber prices are heading this year, we have to look at what we'd look at in anything else, which is supply and demand. So with supply, just in the US alone, we have 30 years of standing timber. And with timber, it's a renewable source. We cut trees down, replant, they regrow, and the cycle continues. But why would we have spikes if we have an unlimited supply of timber? Well, I think that starts with the milling process. So these mills have to go out, cut down and harvest these trees, these logs, bring them back to then debark them and cut them into different dimensions for different products to then go to the marketplace, which is taken by freight most of the time from the mills to other distributors and then into big box stores. So that portion is where I believe the spike is coming from. It's not from the supply. We have plenty of trees. It's the chain getting the supply to the retailer, which then gets it to us, right? We're the consumer at the end of the chain. And this is the biggest problem that I'm seeing with labor shortages, obviously with the pandemic, people not wanting to work, and transportation issues, tariffs. It's just a compounding issue, not allowing us to get trees from the forest into our home or our shop or our workplace. It's the middlemen that are really going to screw things up in terms of prices. Again, one of those big driving factors is getting trees that are cut down in very rural areas to mills, and then from mills, which are still in rural areas, into big cities. So you have a lot of train and you have a lot of flatbed truck freight, which again, when we get into labor shortages and the pandemic and people not wanting to work, you can see where this gets bottlenecked and becomes an expensive thing that's going to affect the prices of lumber. So now let's look at the demand. The number one driving factor in the demand for lumber is the housing market, and specifically in new construction, new housing starts, new development. We can look at a graph online to show how much new development, how much new construction was being started, and we were at a constant trajectory up until the pandemic. In April of 2020, everything absolutely bombed. But since then, we've been back up to where we were, and if not higher. Where I'm at in Idaho, it's the fastest growing state. There's a ton of people moving here from all over the place. All these farms are selling, and new developers are coming in and building tract homes and new construction literally everywhere. This is a big driving factor in terms of demand for lumber. The current statistic is saying that we are over 5 million homes short. So there's a shortage of over 5 million homes, which is not going to be built anytime soon. And more people are trying to buy homes as we look at the market, right? There's not a lot of homes for sale, which this last year has driven prices through the roof to new record highs, which I think are going to happen again this spring and summer. So we're at a housing shortage, and that's going to continue to create more demand for lumber. All right, so more importantly, for you watching this, you're subscribed or just new to this channel, checking out for the first time because you want to know what the heck's going on with lumber. I want to motivate people and teach people how to sell items online, how to grow your business, how to grow your skill set just in carpentry in general. So what the heck does all this mean in terms of the lumber prices? Well, I hit on it before in terms of what our estimate would look like for a specific project, or if you're building tables, what your margin has to be and what the final product sale price has to be in order to make the margin that you want. So moving forward, my biggest advice to you is, as we watch lumber prices continue to increase, do not be afraid to raise your prices. People have to understand that you can't eat the cost of material just to keep your prices the same. Prices, I believe, are going to continue to go up. And the good thing for us as carpenters, as woodworkers, is that we are a dying breed. There's not a lot of us out there. There's not a lot of people that are even willing to work hard with their hands out there. So people like me and you are already desirable. We already can charge a premium. So when we see lumber prices starting to rise and go back up, well, just increase your estimate and your bid by that much. Don't be afraid. People are still going to pay you. I've actually hit on this whole topic in another video in this channel. Go check that out. But until people want to work with their hands anymore, until there's a huge influx of laborers that want to go out and get dirty and build things, we're going to be okay. Lumber prices really aren't going to affect us individually. It may affect the economy as a whole, but it's not going to affect you and me right now in terms of being able to get jobs, being able to sell products, and being able to grow a business. So I hope that this video helped you learn something about what's going on. But the biggest thing is stay encouraged and continue to push yourself out there in the marketplace. I know you can do it. I've done it for years now, and I'm continuing to do so. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, smash that like button, and we'll see you next time.